Hello students, today we are going to start our 5th chapter from your book Flamingo, and the name of the chapter is Indigo, written by Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur was born in 1896 and died in 1970, was born in Philadelphia. He served as a volunteer in the British Army between 1918 and 1928. Pasteur made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times, the Saturday Review, and for European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty at Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Students, remember this. This chapter, Indigo, is taken from the book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi by Louis Pasteur. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Education Supplement. So, the story is based on the interview taken by Louis Pasteur of Mahatma Gandhi. In order to write on him, he had visited him in 1942 at his ashram Sevagram, where he was told about the Indigo movement started by Gandhiji. The story revolves around the struggle of Gandhi and other prominent leaders in order to safeguard sharecroppers from the atrocities of landlords. Now let us begin our chapter. When I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So here the author explains about his first interaction, his first meeting with Mahatma Gandhi. He says that he first met Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram, which was in Sevagram. It was located in central India. Gandhi said that he would tell him about his struggle against the British, which first took place in the year 1917. Now, next paragraph. He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceeding, Gandhi recounted, a peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. I am from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. Gandhi had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. In this paragraph, convention it means agreement, delegates it means representatives, peasant it means small farmer, emaciated it means thin, Champaran it means a place in Bihar. It is a place in Bihar. So he says that in the month of December in the year 1916, Mahatma Gandhi went to attend the annual meeting of the Indian National Congress at Lucknow. There were about 2,301 representatives and visitors. Gandhi recalled that a small farmer named Rajkumar Shukla came to him who was poor and very thin. He requested Gandhi to visit Champaran, a place in the foothills of the Himalaya mountain range near the kingdom of Nepal. Now, next paragraph. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was illiterate but resolute. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. So in this paragraph, sharecroppers, it means a tenant farmer who gives a part of each crop as rent. Resolute, it means determined. So Rajkumar Shukla told Gandhi that he was a sharecropper. A sharecropper is a farmer who gives a part of the crop as rent to the owner of that piece of land that he cultivates. So he told him that because of an old agreement, many of the peasants in Champaran were sharecroppers. He had come to meet Gandhi on someone's suggestion as he was determined to find a solution for the sharecroppers who were facing hardships due to this agreement. He sought Gandhiji's help. Now, next paragraph. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur and was also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. The Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. Fix a date, he begged. In this paragraph, committed it means dedicated. Accompanied it means go somewhere with someone as a companion or escort. Kanpur is a British name for the city of Kanpur. So after hearing his problem, Gandhiji told him that he had to visit Kanpur and some other parts of India due to prior appointments. Shukla went with him everywhere. After this, Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla was always there with him for several weeks, begging him to fix a date to visit Champaran. Now next paragraph. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such date. Come and meet me and take me from there. Month passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. He waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became the president of the Congress Party and of India. Rajendra Prasad was out of town, but the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman who pestered their master to help the indigo sharecroppers. So they let him stay on the ground with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? Here, tenacity it means determination, haunches it means thighs, border it means get on or enter, yeoman it means a man who cultivates a small piece of land, it means a farmer, pestered it means bother or harass, permitted it means allowed. So, as Gandhi was impressed with the determination of the peasant, he said that he would be visiting Kolkata after a few months and that Shukla should meet him there. On the day that had been fixed, Shukla was eagerly waiting for Gandhiji. When Gandhi got free, they both took a train to Patna. Then they went to the house of a lawyer, Rajendra Prasad, who later became the President of India. When they reached there, he was not at home, but the servants allowed both of them to stay at the ground because they knew Shukla. They all knew him because Shukla used to assist their master in helping indigo sharecroppers. They didn't allow Gandhi to draw water from their well as they took him to be an untouchable and didn't want to pollute the entire water source. Now, next paragraph. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore's Santiniketan School. The train arrived at midnight, 15th April 1917. Kriplani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, a teacher in a government school. In this paragraph, en route it means on the way, imparting it means pass on or giving. So as Shukla was not able to provide Gandhi with adequate information, therefore he decided to go to Muzaffarpur, which was on the way to Champaran, to obtain the complete information. He sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani, who was a teacher at Arts College in Muzaffarpur. Gandhi had seen him at Tagore's Santiniketan School. Gandhi took a train to Muzaffarpur that arrived at midnight on 15th April 1917. Kriplani was already waiting there with his students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days at Professor Malkani's home, who was a teacher in a government school. Now next paragraph. It was an extraordinary thing in those days, Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbour a man like me. In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of Home Rule. The news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by conveyance to see their champion. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasant groups in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. In this paragraph, extraordinary it means exceptional or remarkable. Harbour it means hear, entertain. Sympathy it means support or pity. Advocate it means supporter or protector. Advent it means arrival, and conveyance it means transportation. So here, according to Gandhi, it was a remarkable thing that a government professor was entertaining him, because in those days people in small localities were afraid of supporting those who supported home rule. The news of Gandhi's arrival and the purpose of his mission spread through Muzaffarpur and Champaran very fast. Sharecroppers started to visit him. Muzaffarpur lawyers informed Gandhi about the whole situation as they represented various peasants in the court. They explained to him about their cases and the fee that they charged them. Now, next paragraph. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to the law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken, law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. So most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holding with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by long-term contract. In this paragraph, chided it means criticize or scold. Conclusion it means result or end of something. Fear-stricken it means afraid. Arable it means land suitable for farming. Tenants it means occupants paying rent in cash. Estate it means property. Compelled it means forced. Surrender it means to give in. Contract it means agreement. And indigo is a plant that produces a blue color. So here in this paragraph, Gandhi scolded the lawyers for charging such high fee from the poor sharecroppers. He decided that it was useless to go to the courts as the judiciary was not doing anything good for the peasants. He said that as long as the peasants were suppressed and full of fear, it was useless to visit the courts. He wanted to set them free from fear. Most of the cultivable land in the Champaran district was owned by Englishmen who had divided them into various estates, into various properties. The peasants were the occupants of these lands. Englishmen forced the peasants to cultivate indigo on 15% of their land and to give the crop to them as rent. All this was done through a long-term agreement. Now, next paragraph. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. They thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome to the peasants and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers. The landlords hired thugs. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed, and they wanted their money back. In this paragraph, learned it means came to know, synthetic it means chemical based or artificial, compensation it means payments, arrangement it means process, irksome it means irritating, resisted it means opposed or to be against something, thugs it means cheaters, illiterate it means uneducated. So in this paragraph, while all this was going on, the landlords came to know about the chemical indigo being prepared in Germany. It was a blue color dye made with chemicals. They started demanding money from the poor peasants in order to cancel their agreement, as they no longer required the indigo plantations. The sharecropping system was very annoying, so many of the peasants paid for the cancellation of the agreement. But as the news about synthetic indigo spread and reached the uneducated peasants, they started demanding their money back. Now, next paragraph. At this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhat division in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhi reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhat. In this paragraph, proceeded it means begin a course of action. Bully it means trying to harm others, considering them to be weak. Forthwith it means immediately or at once. So in this paragraph, when Gandhi arrived at Champaran, he decided to gather the facts. For this, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. The secretary didn't answer him because he could not give any information to an outsider. After this, he went to the commissioner of the Tirhat division. Champaran district was under Tirhat division, so the commissioner not only threatened Gandhi but also suggested him to leave Tirhat immediately. Now next paragraph, Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. He went to a house and using it as headquarters, continued his investigations. A report came in that peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see. The next morning, he started out on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. Gandhi complied. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. So in this paragraph, accompanied it means go along with someone, multitude it means a large number of people, investigations it means inquiries, maltreated it means ill treat, superintendent it means manager or supervisor, overtook it means went ahead of him, complete it means followed or obeyed. So in this paragraph, though Gandhi was threatened by the commissioner, he didn't leave the place. He then went to Motihari, which was the capital of Champaran. He was joined by several lawyers. When they reached the station, they were welcomed by a large number of people. He then went to a house which was later converted into his headquarters. He started his inquiry into the matter. Gandhi decided to visit a nearby village when he came to know about an incident of ill treatment with a peasant. He was on his way on an elephant when the superintendent, it means a supervisor messenger, stopped him and ordered him to return back to the town. Gandhi followed him and the messenger took him back to his home. He was then served a notice which ordered him to quit his movement and return back. Gandhi received the notice and signed a receipt on which he wrote that he would not obey the order. Now next lines. In consequence, Gandhi received the summons to appear in court the next day. All night, Gandhi remained awake. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instruction to the ashram. He wired a full report to the viceroy. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. In this lines, consequence it means result, influential it means powerful, wired it means telegraphed, merely it means only, authorities it means officials or power, spontaneous it means voluntary or unforced, demonstrations it means protest, courthouse it means court building, liberation it means release, freedom. So in this paragraph, as a result, Gandhi got summons to appear in court next day. Gandhi wasn't able to sleep the whole night. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad and asked him to come to Bihar and get some powerful people along. He sent some guidelines to the ashram and also telegraphed the whole matter to the viceroy. Next morning, Motihari was full of peasants as they wanted to support Gandhi. None of them knew about his works in South Africa. They only knew that there was a Mahatma who wanted to help them and was in trouble due to the officials. They started gathering in front of the courthouse. This incident was their attempt of setting themselves free from the fear of the British. Now next paragraph, the officials felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, hitherto dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indians. The government was baffled. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superiors. In these lines, concrete it means solid, hitherto it means earlier or previously, dreaded it means regarded with great fear or apprehension, unquestioned it means not examined or inquired, baffled it means confused, prosecutor it means lawyer or barrister, postpone it means delay, and apparently it means seemingly or evidently. So as the crowd had gathered in front of the court building, it became difficult for the officials to control the mob, to control the crowd. They had to take Gandhi's help to regulate the crowd. Gandhi politely told the officials that if they would misuse their power, then there were chances that they would have to face a revolt from the Indians. As the situation was getting tougher, the lawyer requested the court to postpone the trial by some days. The authorities decided to first consult the higher authorities. Now next paragraph. Gandhi protested against the delay. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved, he told the court, in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker, on the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave, not for want of respect for lawful authority, but in obedience to the higher law of our being, the voice of conscience. He asked the penalty due. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2-hour recess and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused. The judge released him without bail. In this paragraph, protested it means objected or disapproved. Pleading it means the action of making an emotional or earnest appeal to someone. Guilty it means at fault. Conflict it means to be against someone. Humanitarian it means concern with human welfare. Conscience it means sense of right and wrong. Magistrate it means civil officer who administer law. Pronounce it means declare or announce. Recess it break. Bail it means an amount of money that a person who has been accused of a crime pays to a law court so that they can be released until their trial. So Gandhiji here objected against the delay in the proceeding of the case. He read a statement in front of the court in which he accepted his fault in a very humble manner. He said that he was not a lawbreaker and didn't want to go against the law, but his duty towards humanity has a greater influence on him and it forced him to do so. He refused to leave the town because he wanted to help the sharecroppers as it was his moral duty. The magistrate asked him to arrange for bail because he was going to give his judgment after the 2-hour long break. Gandhiji refused to seek bail and later on he was released without it. Now next paragraph. When the court reconvened, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul Haq and several other prominent lawyers had arrived from Bihar. They conferred with Gandhi what would they do if he was sentenced to prison. Gandhi asked, why? The senior lawyer replied, they had come to advise and help him. If he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise and they would go home. In this paragraph, reconvent it means to start again after a small break. Liberty it means free. Prominent it means important or well known. Conferred it means granted. So here, when the court proceeding restarted, the judge refused to deliver any judgment for many days to come. He allowed Gandhi to remain free. Some well-known lawyers like Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu and Maulana Mazharul Haq came from Bihar to help and advise Gandhi. Gandhi asked that if he was sentenced to jail, then what would be their course of action? One senior lawyer replied that they were there to help him out, and if he was sentenced to jail, then they would return back. Now next paragraph. What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhi demanded. The lawyers withdrew to consult. Rajendra Prasad has recorded the upshot of their consultations. They thought amongst themselves that Gandhi was totally a stranger, and yet he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants. If they, on the other hand, being not only residents of the adjoining districts but also those who claim to have served these peasants, should go home, it would be shameful desertion. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and told him they were ready to follow him into jail. The battle of Champaran is won, he exclaimed. Then he took a piece of paper and divided the group into pairs and put down the order in which each pair was to quote arrest. So here, injustice it means unfairness, withdrew it means left, upshot it means result or conclusion, consultations it means discussion, desertion it means action of leaving a place. So here when Gandhi came to know about their decision, he asked them to help the sharecroppers who were facing unfairness. Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers concluded that if Gandhi could go to jail for the people of their area, although he was a stranger, then they should also follow him as they had always claimed to serve the peasants and fought their legal battles too. They decided that if Gandhi went to jail, then they would follow too. On hearing this, Gandhi assured them that their struggle for Champaran's peasants had been won. He divided the group into pairs of two and made a sequence in which they had to voluntarily surrender in the court. Now next paragraph. Several days later, Gandhi received a written communication from the magistrate informing him that the lieutenant governor of the province had ordered the case to be dropped. Civil disobedience had triumphed, the first time in modern India. Gandhi and the lawyers now proceeded to conduct a far-flung inquiry into the grievances of the farmers. Dispositions by about 10,000 peasants were written down and notes made on other evidence. Documents were collected. The whole area throbbed with the activity of the investigators and the vehement protest of the landlords. Here, lieutenant it means governor, deputy governor. Province it means region or territory. Civil disobedience it means peaceful form of political protest. Triumph it means won, victory. Grievances it means complaints. Depositions it means a formal written statement. Evidence it means proof. Throbbed it means produce a lot of vibrations due to a huge crowd. Investigators it means the inspectors. Vehement it means showing strong feeling, forceful, passionate or intense. So here after some days, the magistrate sent a letter to Gandhiji in which it was written that as per the orders of deputy governor, the case against him had been taken back. It was for the first time in modern India that a peaceful protest against the government had been won. Gandhi and other lawyers carried on with an in-depth investigation into the justice with the farmers. Statements of about 10,000 peasants were recorded and various documentary proofs were collected. The whole area vibrated with activity, the investigators and the protesting landlords. Now next paragraph. In June, Gandhi was summoned to Sir Edward Gate, the lieutenant governor. Before he went, he met leading associates and again laid detailed plans for civil disobedience if he should not return. Gandhi had 4 protected interviews with the lieutenant governor, who as a result appointed an official commission of inquiry into the indigo sharecroppers situation. The commission consisted of landlords, government officials and Gandhi as the sole representative of the peasants. So in this paragraph, summoned it means called, leading it means prominent or popular, associates it means supporters, protected it means lasting for a long time or longer than expected or usual, Representatives, it means spokesperson or agent. So in June, Gandhi was called up to be present before Deputy Governor Sir Edward Gate. Before meeting him, he met his chief supporters and made plans for civil disobedience in case he did not return. Gandhi had 4 long interviews with the Deputy Commissioner, which led to the formation of a commission that inquired into the indigo sharecroppers' situation. The commission had landlords, government officials, and Gandhi, who was the only spokesperson for the peasants. Now, next paragraph. Gandhi remained in Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months and then again for several shorter visits. The visit, undertaken casually on the entreaty of an unlettered peasant, in the expectation that it would last a few days, occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. The official inquiry assembled a crushing mountain of evidence against the big planters, and when they saw this, they agreed, in principle, to make refunds to the peasants. But how much must we pay? They asked Gandhi. In this paragraph, initial it means at the start, uninterrupted it means continuous, entreaty it means an earnest or humble request, assemble it means gathered. So in this paragraph, Gandhi remained in Champaran for 7 months. He also made several short visits later. His visit on the request of a peasant was presumed to last a few days, but it took a year. The official inquiry didn't favor the planters' hands. They agreed to pay back to the peasants, but they questioned Gandhi regarding the amount to be repaid. So, next paragraph. Now, they thought he would demand repayment in full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. He asked only 50%. There he seemed adamant. Writes Reverend J.Z. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran who observed the entire episode at close range. Thinking probably that he would not give way, the representative of the planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%, and to his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word, thus breaking the deadlock. This settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission. Gandhi explained that the amount of the refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. Therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law. Now the peasant saw that he had rights and defenders. He learned courage. In this paragraph, deceitfully it means dishonesty. Extorted it means took forcibly. Adamant it means firm. Amazement it means surprise. Obliged it means required or made legally bound to do something. Deadlock it means a situation in which no progress can be made. Unanimously it means without opposition. Prestige it means honor, and defenders it means protectors. So here the moneylenders had thought that Gandhi would ask for the full payment of the money which they had taken from the peasants forcefully and fraudulently. But he asked for only 50% and his decision was firm. A missionary, Reverend J.Z. Hodge, who had a close watch on the matter, reported this. The planters offered to pay only 25% as they thought it would be rejected by Gandhi. He immediately accepted it. Gandhi said that the amount of money was not important, but by giving money, the planters had bowed down to the peasants and had given away their honor too. The planters, who earlier behaved as if they were above the law, now had to abide by it. This made the peasants realize their rights and give them courage to fight for them. Now, next paragraph. Events justified Gandhi's position. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their estates, which reverted to the peasants. Indigo sharecropping disappeared. Gandhi never contented himself with large political or economic solutions. He saw the culture and social backwardness in the Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. He appealed for teachers. Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh, Two young men who had just joined Gandhi as disciples and their wives volunteered for the work. Several more came from Bombay, Pune and other distant parts of the land. Devdas, Gandhi's youngest son, arrived from the ashram and so did Mrs. Gandhi. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Kasturbai taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness and community sanitation. In this paragraph, justified it means marked by a good or legitimate reason. Abandoned it means deserted or inhibited. Estates it means property. Reverted it means return. Contented it means willing to accept something or satisfied. So in this paragraph, events had proven Gandhi's position. The British planters had to leave their property within the next few years. These properties were returned back to the peasants. Indigo sharecropping soon came to an end. Gandhi was not satisfied by achieving political or economical solutions. He sought to remove the cultural and social backwardness of Champaran. Gandhi wanted to do something to remove the backwardness in the villages of Champaran. He requested teachers such as Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh and their wives to teach the villagers. Both of them were followers of Gandhi. Many other volunteers came from Bombay and Pune to join them. Mrs. Gandhi and their youngest son Devdas arrived from the ashram for their help. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages where Kasturbai used to teach the ashram rules on cleanliness and community sanitation. Now next paragraph. Health conditions were miserable. Gandhi got a doctor to volunteer his services for 6 months. 3 medicines were available: castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. Anybody with malaria fever received quinine plus castor oil. Anybody with skin eruptions received ointment plus castor oil. Gandhi noticed the filthy state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. One woman took Kasturbai into her hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes. The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." In this paragraph, miserable it means unhappy or sad. Volunteer it means a person who offers his service free of cost. Eruptions it means here a spot or a rash or other mark appearing suddenly on the skin. In this paragraph, the health conditions of the people of Champaran were very poor. So Gandhi got a doctor who offered his services free of cost for 6 months. There were only 3 medicines: castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment available. A patient with a coated tongue was given castor oil. A malaria patient was served a dose of quinine, and a patient with a skin disorder was given ointment and castor oil. The women of the area used to wear dirty clothes. When Gandhiji tried to know the reason through his wife, he was told that those were the only saris each of the women had. Now next paragraph. During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. He sent regular instructions by mail and asked for financial accounts. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. I declared that the British could not order me about in my own country. Here, instructions it means orders or commands. Residents it means locals. So while Gandhiji was in Champaran, he kept a long distance vigil on the ashram. He used to send letters of orders regarding financial matters. Once he wrote to the locals that it was time to dig new latrines as the old ones had started giving foul smell, dirty smell. The Champaran incident changed Gandhi's life. He said that he had done a regular thing. He had put his point across that the Britishers could not order him in his own country. Now next paragraph. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate the distress of large numbers of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhi pattern. His politics were intertwined with the practical, day-to-day problems of the millions. His was not a loyalty to abstractions, it was a loyalty to living human beings. In everything Gandhi did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free India who could stand on his own feet and thus make India free. In this paragraph, defiance it means opposition, alleviate it means uplift, distress it means torture, intertwined it means twisted or braided or knitted, abstractions it means something which exists only as an idea. So the Champaran Satyagraha was not an act of opposition, it was an attempt to help out the poor and tortured peasants. This was Gandhi's way to solve issue. His politics was knitted up with the everyday problems faced by the millions of people. He did not aim at the fulfillment of ideas, rather he was concerned for the people. The basic idea was to serve humanity and make a free Indian who could stand for his rights. Now next paragraph. Early in the Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist who had become a devoted follower of Mahatma, came to bid Gandhi farewell before going on a tour of duty to the Fiji island. Gandhi's lawyer friends thought it would be a good idea for Andrews to stay in Champaran and help them. Andrews was willing if Gandhi agreed, but Gandhi was vehemently opposed. He said, "You think that in this unequal fight it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side? This shows the weakness of your heart. The cause is just and you must rely upon yourselves to win the battle. You should not seek a prompt in Mr. Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman." He had read our minds correctly, Rajendra Prasad comments, and we had no reply. Gandhi in this way taught us a lesson in self-reliance. Self-reliance, Indian independence and help to sharecroppers were all bound together. In this paragraph, pacifist it means peacemaker who believes in peace. Vehemently it means in an intense manner. Self-reliance it means self-sufficiency, self-support. Prop it means support. So here Charles Freer Andrews, who was a peacemaker, visited Gandhi before going on a tour of duty to the Fiji island. Gandhi's lawyer friends wanted Andrews to stay at the ashram and help them, but Gandhi refused. He said that they did not need the help of Britishers as it showed a lack of trust in their own abilities. He asked them not to seek any help from Mr. Andrews as he was an Englishman. Rajendra Prasad later on stated that Gandhi had read their thoughts and his reply served as a lesson of self-sufficiency for them. Being self-dependent, free and helping the peasants, all these facts, all these acts of Gandhi were interconnected. So, this story revolves around the struggles of Gandhi and other prominent leaders in order to safeguard sharecroppers from the atrocities of landlords. So with this, our 5th chapter Indigo is completed over here. Thank you.